Yes?
Hello, this is John from Arizona.
Yes, Mr. John from Arizona.
One of the things that we created last week was using our MagGrav units. We put them in the Gans of tritium, the Gans of deuterium, and the Gans of hydrogen in each of the layers.
Do you want me to read you something? Do you want me, John, do you want me to read you something very interesting?
Go ahead.
Wait 1 second, please. You got to be very patient with me. I'm a slow man. I'm too old to do things fast. Just 1 second, please. There was a question for you on one of the chats, and I think you got to answer it. It says, it's to John, to you. If you are here, or Armand, can you please share your methods of making hydrogen and carbon GANs? I understood both of you have achieved this. Can you please share? And I replied very directly, no way. We are very mean people.
One of the things with this is it's up to the soul to find the answers in this particular case.
Do you want to share with them your method, or are we keeping it very secret? Are we mean people, or are we going to tell them how to make it?
When the souls are ready, they'll figure out how to pull them together. I've been giving clues to people, but you know, one of the things that I found is I was completely unsuccessful in many of my experiments until my wishes were in alignment with that which I wished to create, and then it wasn't until I'll say touched it with my heart that I found out that I had that which I desired. So it's, you know, it can be right in front of people, and it probably has been right in front of people, but they just haven't recognized it. You know, when the time comes, I guess you know, we can look at when it's time to share with people. But it's running with the ethos of the foundation, because you know, again, it could be used for benefit and can be used for harm. So we have to be careful that we're in alignment.
So are you going to share the secret of your hydrogen, or are you keeping it as a mean man like me?
I think I'm keeping it as a mean man. Your soul will guide you.
Pardon?
Their souls will guide them.
Listen, I taught you freely. You can't be that mean. Teach it freely too. They want to hear it from you. I taught Armand something very interesting this last few days. How to make tritium in a very easy way.
Yes,
and
it's very... Yeah. So,
he says, I'm going to be a mean man too.
Yeah. Let me give everybody some clues.
The motions are laughing their head off.
Yeah, I'm sure the motions know.
Yeah.
But you know, if you're dealing with the hydrogen atoms, you start with what it is that contains the hydrogen atoms, and in the plasma state, you're able to pull the hydrogen atoms away from. If it's in water,
I stop spending all your time explaining this. Just tell us easy. Why are you killing us?
You want me to do it?
Let them fly. I mean, we give them the tool. If they want to do it, let them do it. I taught you very easily how to make it.
So most of the people, when they go...
Let me, I'm going to give you a starting point, John. How to make tritium. How do you make tritium?
Tritium...
That's very hard. Tritium is very easy to make.
Tritium is our CH3 with, when we put our salts in there, we're able to separate the molecules.
Sorry about laughing. I do apologize. Armand has just brought the fire gas mask out. Breathing system. I do apologize. The the problem is when you want to make a tritium, we don't make tritium. We make GANs which behaves as a property of the tritium. If you look at the tritium, it's more or less 3 neutrons in the CH3, 3 protons, you have 3 electrons, and you have 3 addition neutrons. If you look at CH3, understanding the process in a plasma level, and understanding going back to the first box you ever made, which was a nano-coated copper and a zinc plate, which you created a carbon. If you make a closed box, Armin is dying now, that's it. His secret is out of the bag. I've told him, he thought he's got something extra. Now we're all equal. So, can I have let me share and then you understand. This is a fuel for a space technology. I'm going to share. I'm going to go this or this one. I say yes. Oh, it's good at my age. I still remember to do so. Oh no, I forgot. I did it the wrong way. Okay, there we are. Now I'll teach you how to make a very effective plasma GANs of tritium. And the nuclear centers are going to shoot you. Just be very careful. Sorry, Armin. You used to, let me put it this way, you used to put a nano copper here. Oh, yes. And then you used to do a zinc plate here. This is a nano coated, yeah? Then you used to create carbon gravitational magnetic field, which in the salt water used to extract Mr. Cohen. Oh, my Jewish blood, that's where I come from. And then there comes the attachment to the oxygen and pulling the carbon in, becoming a CO2 and going down. Now what you have to make a CH3, what you do, you get your CH3, let me choose a color that you all know. You get a CH3 in a container above the water, you seal the box totally. Now you start the process. What's going to happen? This carbon gravitational magnetic plasma would extract the carbon from CH3. What you are left here is a pure tritium level plasma. Don't forget, we call it the plasma of tritium. Here in the matter state, you're talking about hydrogen, which is 3 hydrogens. In the plasma state, it's different. It behaves different because here you have 1 proton, 1 electron, 1 proton, 1 electron, 1 proton, 1 electron. In the plasma field, this proton stays proton. The accumulation of the fields of the 3 electrons, plasmatic field, will create a neutron, 2 neutrons. So now you in fact have the property strength of tritium plasma material, GANs. What is left in the tray, if you can collect it, you see it, will be in your container pure tritium plasma. And it's a secret to a space technology fuel. In a space road fuel, you work like this. or vice versa according to what you can do. Hydrogen, deuterium, tritium. The flow between these, if you can reconnect and understand how to do it, you can instantaneously become gravitational or instantaneously become magnetic. This is how you load a spaceship, your system.
So what I did was I did that with the magnet.
I'll just speak with the motions. You don't have this in your brain, so you have to try something else. Sorry, John. So now you have seen how to make tritium in a plasmatic level. It's not a matter level. You can play a second game the same way, in a very, very easy way to produce deuterium and hydrogen. We are not talking anymore atomic molecular, we're talking a plasma. And then I'll leave this secret to John, at least he's got something to teach. Would you like to teach us how you make deuterium? Hello, John.
Muted.
Okay,
Hello.
sorry, I was on mute.
Yep.
So what we do is we change the power level when we're making CH3 to a higher voltage, and that black, rather than being the orange color, it becomes the black color. We don't turn it up too high, but we turn it up to a higher level. And that black stuff that's in the bottom that most people threw away is your deuterium.
That's very mean. You got to show it to us. I was easy to show. Come on, share the screen. We didn't understand. You're too American. Can we have some secret, please? Can you draw it for us?
Okay, well, it's real simple. So you're making CH3 with your two things on either side, your nano-coated copper and your chicken wire. Okay.
Yeah.
So normally when we make it with no power. Now what we do is we turn the power on. The nano-coated plate we put to the minus, and the other chicken wire we put to the plus, and then we crank it up to about half a volt, and we create a black
Excuse
material.
me, our master says you're wrong. Come on, explain what you do. No. You are two people in Arizona. Make your mind how we do it. Okay. No. Tell me. Carry on. If it's correct, it's got to be correct. It says plus to nano-coated, minus to non-nano-coated. Correct, Armin? Yeah. No problem. Sorry about that, John. This is Master Armin. He is correct. So you put it to half a volt.
Yep.
And
we get rather than getting the orange colored material, we get a black colored material.
And that's your deuterium.
And that's our deuterium.
And how do you make hydrogen?
We use the Coca-Cola bottles, and we put carbon stick in we put carbon stick in. Well, first we nano-coat the Coke bottle. We put a tube coming out of the Coke bottle into another bucket of salt water. We put a carbon rod in the salt water itself, and one in the Coca-Cola bottle that has salt water also, and also some caustic material. In my case, what I do is I chop up little pieces of Coca-Cola bottles and put it inside the Coca-Cola bottle itself. So what I'm doing is I'm pulling, all of the plastic has a CH bond. So what we're doing is we're pulling out the hydrogen out of the bonding with the plastic. It takes quite a while. I poke a hole in the Coca-Cola bottle at the water level so that we can get a reaction with the power, and we collect 3 different materials, one in the Coca-Cola bottle, one in the I'll call it the container itself, outside the Coca-Cola bottle, and then the third one where the tube from the Coca-Cola bottle goes into the salt water. Each one of them has a different color. The one in the Coca-Cola bottle typically has a bluish tinge to it. The one outside the Coca-Cola bottle typically has more of a black carbon look to it, and the one in the other where the tube goes into has a goldish color. Each one of them has its own properties of hydrogen. They all act a little bit different though. Comments?
I'm listening. It's too complicated. I never made it that complicated.
It's hard to make. That's why it took me 20 times to get it
right. For everything. What shall we do with him? Shall we Gans him? There must be an easier way to. I know I done it that way as well, but you can do it the same. One of the easiest ways is to use aluminium for atomic hydrogen. A slow process, not a rapid process. Cold caustic and let it slowly evaporate. What you see when the Gans is completed, you don't see anything in the water, and then after a while you see black stuff at the bottom, which is the Gans of the aluminium. But the gas release is atomic hydrogen. You can do in a plasmatic condition, if you understood what I just, it's on the screen, how you make CH3, you can make a condition that you create a CH bond field in that process. That you create deuterium, and again you create a condition with the deuterium, with the CH3, that you create balance of hydrogen. The process you have here on the screen allows you to create both tritium, deuterium, and hydrogen atomic in a plasma condition in a very fast way. And you see it by the color. If you look at here, if you look at this space, if you understand it, here you had a carbon. Now you need to create a condition of CH, which is very easy. So what is left in interaction from here leaves you with H2, and if you can create a CH2, then it gives you hydrogen. And this process is very easy to produce, extremely easy.
But that's using a plastic bucket, correct?
Yes, but it has to be totally sealed. Totally sealed.
That's how you get the CH bond, is through the plastic, right?
No, we get a carbon from the CH3 to be extracted. And it does. You see the change of the color in the CH3 on the top as the carbon is released.
Can this be done with the plates outside of the container?
You can try. It's done before, but you can try. But then you need to use a very narrow container.
And if you use glass, do you have to introduce plastic into the
No, do it
condition?
with the glass. The glass gives you more purified. Even on the top, put a glass. If it's a glass container, you're 100% sure it's tritium. This tritium is not radioactive. This tritium is extremely volatile in energy. When you touch it, you feel it. It goes through you. You feel the energy of it. It's those who come close to it will not eat for days because it's an instant energy transfer at a very high potential. And the body takes everything it needs in one go. This is one of the ways you feed in space using Tritiu. Now there is another secret out of the bag.
Where does the deuterium oxide fit into the? Is that still matter state?
Why do you need an oxide? You don't have oxide. You have a pure tritium. The tritium, the deuterium, and the hydrogen never oxidize if you do it the right way. They stay in an plasma atomic condition. One is usually black, one is usually tinted blue. If you do it in a different way, you have a slightly orangish color.
I've had some solidified to where it was silverish too. Like
Depends
thick.
what you use. Depends if it is deuterium. What if you reach silver color comes from green hydrogen. Does not.
You lose your mic.
Yeah, the microphone is sounds there. That's better. Thank you.
Yeah, my microphone went up to my ear, stopping in front of my mouth. I dropped the headphone. If you reach silver color, this is from 3 H's, 3 hydrogens. You have a pure hydrogen, but the orientation due to magnetic positioning creates silver color. This is what you see a lot in the space materials. Those who talk about finding new materials which you cannot melt and burn in a spaceship structure comes partially because of this interaction. It's a pure. If you do it with deuterium and tritium, you get the same silvery shiny. If it solidifies to matter, is what is known as a space material. This has been a mystery to those who say they have a spaceship in their hand and they don't know what material is made of. It transfers itself in a dimension to matter state silver color, but is not tritium. It's a hydrogen in 3-level magnetic positioning.
I see.
You get it the same with deuterium, and you get the same with tritium if you can do it.
Now, I've heard you say. I've heard you say in situations that the deuterium is blue, and I've also heard you say that the hydrogen is blue.
Yes, you have to realize one of the properties of the way you load the reactor with deuterium, tritium, and hydrogen is silver color on the boundary too. It creates a material which has no property but has the property of all the elements known to man.
So what color would you say the deuterium should be?
Your deuterium should be black in most of the cases the way you produce it. Because of the crystal structure, it creates very much the color of carbon. It behaves like a crystal. This is the reason we have skin. Our skin is physical. It's because of the middle layer in the body. So now you have a deuterium is black. It usually shows itself, and then with the tritium is in blue. But depends, it's like the way we make copper. You know, when we make a copper oxide, depending on how we made it, it's black or orange or green.
Yeah, exactly.
That is, it depends how, in what proportion of what percentage you put. But in reality, you can produce one of the first things you see in this, any time you have the hydrogen or in a combination of hydrogen in the nanolayers or combination of nanolayers or plasmatic of the hydrogen, the silver structure is an automatic outcome if we know what to do with it. This is what I said from the beginning. If you understand the process of plasma technology, hydrogen is the backbone of everything you need in the space. It's what you call, at the moment we call it fiberglass tubes are one of the hardest to do. Now you can imagine what this gives you. It's those in the space technology who claim they have in their possession silverish material which is from the space or space structures they have in their possession, for the first time understand what they have. You cannot melt it. You cannot destroy it. You cannot do anything with it. It's literally, you cannot destroy it. As long as you handle it with matter state. The only way you change the composition is introduction of the additional field of the higher order. This is how you open your doors in a spaceship. Once you create it, you decide the position of the space. At that point, you create a different gravitational magnetic field. Let me explain to you. These teachings brings things we don't want to teach, but we are there, why not? In a spaceship, you never have a body. You don't have an entrance, you don't have an exit. If you use a 3-layer bead in your reactors, combination of the fields, deuterium, tritium, and hydrogen, you get a silver material. Oops, what happened to it? It went somewhere. Come back, darling. I'm going to do it again. When you, this is your, what happened? What have I touched now?
What was that magic combination? That 3 combination made the top of the spaceship come off, Mr. Keshe.
Huh? You saw it. So it wants to tell us something. Okay. So now you have your reactors. You created 3 layers. Through the fields inside your reactors, you have, everything is there. This leads to a solidification material if you want to do it. It's a specific way to produce it. This gives you a silver color. Shiny silver. Brightish sometimes. This material is, you cannot destroy it. Man's knowledge, with all the tools you have, you cannot touch it. The only way you do, because you created it out of interaction of the fields, the only way you can open a passage through it, a doorway through it, is by creating a field lock. There is no doors, there are no hinges. You create a field lock which allows, at that point, the integrity of the door stays, but at that point you open up the magnetic gravitational field, and then that's your gateway. In a space, the only way you create a door to get in and out is by changing gravitational magnetic field. It's not by physical door. You never created a physical door. And it comes by a higher order. What you literally have to do, very simple, your system here is, let's say, hydrogen, deuterium, tritium. You create the reverse. That gives you the space. It's just change of magnetic field. Gives you the space. You still keep the structure because disorders. Then you have your entry. You can make what you call wormholes. You can create a spherical to give you access in and out, the size you want to go. The beauty with this is, because you create a gravitational magnetic field, outside environment can never come in. It's impossibility. Because your shielding, your shield of the reactors are completely in process. All you've done, you have created a hole for it to open up, but still you keep confinement. This is how the spaceships travel. This is how you enter and exit. There is no hinges and doors opening and falling. You created it out of gravitational magnetic field. You open it through gravitational magnetic field. And these materials are, you cannot destroy it, because the second layer, deuterium, creates literally diamond structure. You cannot touch it. You can come down with whatever you thought. Diamond is a tough thing. You haven't played with this boy. Good morning, Armin. And that's the secret in the space technology.
So inside that, inside those fields, all the energy is coherent. Is that true? Or 0 point energy?
Very, very much. They depend. They decide.
So if we're building,
the guys in NASA are kicking themselves. We got all this silver material. We've been trying to drill it.
if we're building these Starship reactors.
Can I say something? Can I say something? Mr. Nelson at NASA headquarters, space flight, NASA Mars mission. Now you can open the black box in the black area. I know you listen.
We're going to open all the doors.
This is the key to opening spaceships, which man could not know open up to now. We give the same information to the Chinese government, who holds 3 of them. Now you know how to get in, but be careful what comes out of that wormhole.
When we build these reactors, Starship reactors, a lot of times the fields that we create are incoherent. Is there a trick to making those fields more coherent with some of our GANs materials?
Excuse me, we are a bunch of foreigners. I don't come from. Can you explain what you mean by coherence in this term?
So when we plug into the wall, for example, with our reactors,
yeah.
We get all the energy fields of the AC currents creating havoc on the energy fields that we create with the reactors. When we plug into the DC...
Yeah, well, let me teach you something to stop that. No, hello, let me teach you something. It should theoretically stop that. When you plug your system into the wall, don't plug it into the wall direct. Put a maggrav system, connect your system to a maggrav system to a plug wall. The nano layer converts the energy into a plasma condition. So you work in a plasma condition. When you connect directly into the wall, you're interfacing plasma with the matter state. So you have hundreds of those maggrav units. Use one of them as an interface converter. You should not have any more problem.
And would you say that then those fields become more coherent?
In a way, yes, because now it goes by demand. You remember in ambassador meeting in Rome when we put the drill which Arman brought from United States 110 and the European drill 220 together, and we made a lot of noise because the system takes what it needs according to the time and the energy it needs to release itself back into the system. It will be very coherent. It should be, but this is what is part of the technology. You use the maggrav system as an adapter to the energy levels you want.
Okay, thanks. That's a big help for us.
Don't forget my payment, please.
Got it.
Nobody paid. I give so much information. It's all free. Can I get paid, please? Some energy levels will be good enough. There is no cash in the bank we don't need.
Armin's there. Armin will take care of you.
But now you understand how to make matter state with your reactors. And this is the way it works, the way it operates.
Mr. Keshe, Brett just mentions, I give my love. And I wanted to mention that just before he said that, we were discussing last night in the Keshe Plasma Reactor group that I hold each week about the idea of the things in the universe, such as hydrogen atoms out in space, that might have this attractive force for each other. And the same with the rays that we saw in the plasma animation. They see each other or become aware of each other and are somehow attracted, and then they intertwine and form that union and plasma, that fusion of plasma. So the word love comes up. Do the rays feel love? Is that what the principality love, you might say? Is that what pervades the universe? And is that what is between the tritium, deuterium, and hydrogen layers as well in this spacecraft? Is that the coherent energy that John was talking about?
It is, in a way, it is the balance energy which we all share. This is why, this is how your vein works. It's the balance energy which the strength of it dictates the space of it. You were one of the first ones who created that hollow center. Now elongate, and according to different amount of Gans outside, you will see you create a vein through fields. You remember when you put I explained this in the teaching before, in the medical teaching, when we're doing it, the 32 teachings. You created a core and you span it, and you had a center hollow in the middle. Now, if you can put the ganses, let's put this one, if you can put the ganses around it, yeah, which now we saw with the Romanian, for example, and then you could extend it, that is how your vein is created. That's why you have that gap that you can allow blood as a superconductor material flow through it without any attachment. If you put the series of these cores to each other, then it is there. Dr. Parvis, thank you very much. Received your message. Enjoy yourself in Damaband. He's in Iran. And he's listening.